Hello, and welcome to Bonus Action Heroes Play Out of the Abyss. Welcome back. Summarised last week. Does anyone want to have a go, or would you like me to? I'll go.
I don't remember.
Darren Dill got some stuff stuck in his hair. It was an absolute fight to get it out. And he screwed up the Fey realm.
It has inspired a play called There's Something About Derendil, though, I think. So
problem with the Darendil in the night.
Yeah, so you were working to try and free Isabon from her contract with the Three. A number of unseelie Fey allied with one another, and Isabon was effectively contracted to get a large number of souls signed up with deals on behalf of the Three in exchange for the return of her mother. So you had gone directly to Garathorn, who had Tim, the Timosaurus Rex is his full name, the T-Rex, the familiar, if you like, of Veretti, and you did manage to sneak out and defeat Veretti in combat. As you were leaving the area, you all tried to think of winter again, and the majority of you made it back to Veretti's hut, where you met Isabon and exchanged Tim for her freedom. It is at that moment that you will all realise that Drodin is not with you. And as you're stood outside the cabin, Isabon is with you, surprised that you have gone to such lengths to free her, but grateful nonetheless. You see a figure emerging from the trees, a drow. At first you think it's Drodin, but this drow looks older than Drodin. His hair is longer. I will show you an image in a minute, but his hair is longer. He looks maybe in elf years 100 years older than the Drodin you knew, and it's only as he gets closer that you see a level of tiredness that you've never seen in Drodin. His eyes are sunken and dark. He looks exhausted. There are many more wrinkles on his elven face, and his clothes seem old and somewhat faded and worn from the last time you saw him.
It's not Drodin, it's Aldrin.
Sure.
Can we help you, old man?
Well, that's rather rude.
Drodin, they all look exactly the same as the last time you saw them. Even down to the cuts and bruises on their person.
I like to think he instantly just reappears, just goes, "Where the fuck have you been for so long?"
Hey lad, did you go walking off in the mist?
No, I was following everyone back.
Doesn't quite look like it, but maybe, just maybe, the age has brought some wisdom with it. Let's see.
I don't understand what happened. Why do you look like you're 100 years older?
I've been here for a very long time. I've been what's a good parody word phrase for this? I can't think of one, not off the top of my head. I've been reliving the same day over and over, it seems, for quite a while.
Darendil will be like, how long's a while?
Well, I stopped counting after about 20 years, I think.
20 years?
Years.
You've been gone 3 minutes, old boy, I assure you.
It's been so long.
How did you manage that?
I don't know.
Is it some sort of curse, or?
We were leaving Garethorn's, and as we stepped through the mist, I was thinking about how enjoyable his bad murder was,
That's
and
odd.
I was
But okay.
I was stuck reliving a day over and over again, where I was watching someone getting murdered.
Someone?
I will find the thing again. I will give you a description. Yes, it was a short, red-headed dwarf woman. She was dragged in by a couple of hags, and then some dark-haired woman turned into some strange skeletal thing and just hurled her across the field, effectively.
And you didn't know any of them, recognize any of them, learn their names after seeing it time and time again?
The person who turned into the skeleton was Tarith. They had been doing some scheming with Garethorn and Verity. It was an orchestrated murder.
So, Jim, just for your benefit, because I appreciate it's a lot of info to take on, you didn't just experience one moment. It's like you were
I was being pulled through multiple
timelines of the same events, but every time you came to an end, the day would reset, and you would find yourself experiencing a different part, and then eventually they would all loop. You would find yourself watching the same events over and over, and in fact, sometimes you would intervene, and events would change slightly, but no matter what you did, you would all
correct themselves.
Yeah.
I tried to stop it from happening. Sometimes I tried to kill Verity. Sometimes I managed it. Sometimes I didn't. Tried to kill Tyreth and Garethorn. Sometimes I managed it. Sometimes I didn't. It was fun to be able to have some indulgence without consequence, but it grew stale very quickly.
This is all sorts of problematic.
So hang on. We've had to relive the same. We're not going to have to do all this again, are we? Like, are we going to have the same problems? Is it going to be reliving the same day over and over?
As long as you don't think about bad murders.
Oh, we really need to get out of here fast.
Wait. So who was being killed? You recognize Verity and Garethorn and Taro?
I don't know the dwarf. I just know she was short and red-haired. They talked about some Titiana has a mortal friend, or their daughter has a mortal friend, and the son has already been killed. There was a lot. But at the moment, I would like to go somewhere that isn't here, Maybe eat something.
What have you been eating all this time?
Nothing.
You don't tend to get very hungry when you die repeatedly. Verity's house is still there. Steal a bit of food now and then. If I was desperate.
Veronica, give me a history check. With advantage.
We won't talk about where my food came from.
I was battling with, I can see the image, but all I've really got from Jim is a red-headed dwarf.
Yeah, well, the red-headed dwarf, I think, would be enough to trigger a memory. And you obviously know the history that Isabon's mum was taken by purple ladies, was what Isabon said when she was small. And if you describe the dwarf to Drodin, he will confirm that is who he saw being killed.
Did they say why they killed her, or took her, or?
They were provoking someone to go against Tatiana on their behalf. They couldn't directly fight Titania. So they provoked someone into starting not a domestic war, but a war that they could exploit. And now Victor's got a lot of people walking around with bombs that damage the Feywild.
Is Isabon with us, or is she gone to get her stuff?
She's getting her stuff, yeah.
What shall we do about her mother's body? I think we should probably take it back with us. It's not going to be pretty.
Should we ask if the board what she wants to do? Will that take too long? We take it, we go and ask her when we've gone. I feel like, having done what we just did, that even though there seems to be some animosity between these hags, we probably would not be welcome anymore. So I'm I'm hoping they don't know right now, and it might be better just to leave as quick as possible.
But if Isabon wants to bury her mother properly somewhere on the mortal plane, then material plane, we probably shouldn't come back, and this will be our only opportunity. I guess we'll just ask her. Get the body now while she's gone, and disappear and ask her, and if she doesn't want to, then we can find some way of burying her ourselves. Well, are there any spades around?
Yeah, you can find one if you need one.
And I think between us, Drodin and I can do some firebolts to get the snow melted. I don't know that we're going to manage to do it by the time Isabon's got back, are we?
I'm both going to scrabble at the dirt like much strong.
Isabon does seem to be gone for quite a long time, longer than you expect, and you do have enough time to remove to dig up the grave. It's marked with a unmarked stone. Well, there is no name, there's no date, there's nothing. It's just a stone, and you find a skeleton, a dwarf skeleton, still with the remnants of red hair and what's left of a leather jerkin and a dress.
Is it just loose? It wasn't contained in something?
No, it was just wrapped in some kind of cloth.
I guess just wrap it back up in the cloth and... Oof. I know it's awfully morbid, but Derendil, would you mind carrying her?
No, of course not. Least I can do. And as you're having this conversation, Isabon, you will see her step out of the cabin. Her face is stern, but you can see tears in her eyes. And she marches over and just, she sees the whole. She sees Derendil carrying the bundle. She just nods at you all. Oh,
So easy.
You figured it out before I did. Well, it took everything I had not to stab the bitch, but I'm older, I'm wiser.
Still good.
Drodin.
I've been here for a while. It would be nice for it to finally stick.
Oh, you look different. How long have you been away?
That is a whole other kettle of fish.
You didn't get stuck in some of the time loops, did you?
I did.
Oh, that's how they aged me. So I was
That's
more
all.
useful. You have to keep your thoughts straight and pure when you leave this place, otherwise you get trapped.
It's not exactly easy when you have a demon lord in your pocket.
You hear a voice in your head, oh, that's just where I like to be. But seriously, Drodin, you need to get me to Gravenhollow now.
Yes, I know.
We'll part
Recovery.
ways when we get there. So Isabon will look to you all. So, what now?
I say my dad's name 3 times, except at some point I've deleted it.
Grithnock.
Thank you.
Yeah, you say the name 3 times. There is a sort of mini tornado of autumnal leaves that just come from nowhere, swirling across the landscape. They envelop you all. And the cold, icy wind of this place gives way to a cool breeze with the smell of autumnal leaves, rich soil, and just a hint of the last of the summer's warmth. And you see your father, Tink, sat at the end of the table, feet on the table, and you realise that he does not have feet, he has hooves. And he will just raise a glass to you, which fills itself with wine. And then a number of empty glasses on the table in front of you also just seem to fill themselves with red wine. I knew you could do it, my girl. Where next?
Gareth? Just so you're aware, Garethorn is dead.
Oh. That should hold them back for a few hundred years, maybe more.
I thought it would keep my friends safe. And he only saw me like this, not as Orphane.
So they don't know who you are.
I don't think so.
Then all is well. All
Veretti
is
and
well.
Tarith are still going to be trying to kill Titania through the door, Victor, though.
I'm sorry? The door to... They're
dwarf.
looking to take on Titania.
The dwarf that put Coldine in Tink has turned a lot of people into bonds that can level the Feywild. They've intentionally provoked him so that he will level Titiana's kingdom.
You have proof of this?
I watched them discussing it for a couple of decades stuck in a time loop.
And this is his daughter and his wife, and I'll gesture.
Who coerced and tricked into signing a deal with Veretti.
So we're going back to hopefully fix that problem.
And should I call upon you to testify, Drodin of the Drow, you would speak your truth?
Sure.
If they have plotted against Titania, then they shall be dealt with. They have breached the agreement between our courts. Although, to be fair, daughter dear, you have breached it as well. But
Only you know about it.
it's only a problem if you get caught. And we'll make sure you don't.
To save time, would you like me to just write it down as a testimonial?
Yes, but we will have to call upon you when the time comes. I mean, I could try and explain how Feywild justice works, but I don't really have the time or the crayons to explain it all to you. So we'll do it another time.
And I don't care for your posturing, so yes.
So dour. So dour.
Drodin, eat something and then we need to go.
I'll wait until we get to this. No, not on the ship anymore.
What's your favourite food, Drodin?
Pineapples.
Pineapples. Well, my hospitality, unlike in many parts of the Feywild, is given freely. And he will gesture a bowl of apples, and as he gestures at it, they seem to morph into pineapples.
I think he just loads a bag and then just starts ripping the skin off one of them.
Yeah.
And just starts eating it like it's a cracked watermelon.
Isabon will... she's kind of been listening, and she is a little bit confused, but she does hear what you say about using a dwarf against Titania, and also about putting cold iron in Tink, and you can see she's processing. She's thinking about everything she's heard, and she will turn to Tink and say, Dad did this to you?
I'm not sure how long it's been for him, but 2, 3. Am I on the money here, Matt?
It's been it's hard to know, but it's been a few years, but not enough for her to be grown up, which is the weird thing. Oh, well,
He blamed me, and he was very angry.
Right. Well, I'm going to have words with him. Where is he?
Thank you. We are going to go back to see him.
Right.
For all this place has done to you, I hope you don't wish to share in his vision and see it
No.
blown up.
Right, well, I've seen some horrors and I've done some bad things, but the times we had were wonderful. I saw many wonders, and not many children can say that. And I've gone southwest. Too much time with Garethor. I'm just kidding.
You have been very brave, and I'm very sorry for everything that happened to you.
Not bad. For an 11-year-old, eh?
How old are you now?
I don't know. I don't care. I just want to see my world back the way it was. I want to see my dad. I want to bury my ma. I was a kid. I didn't know any better.
Thank you for being so forgiving.
Well, I have you as my godmother, and that's worth a lot. I see that you haven't changed. Maybe in size, but not in heart.
You should have a last taste of the Feywild. I don't know that you'll be coming back for a while.
I've had enough of it. No offence, but stuff the Feywild. I'd like to see the real world and real food.
Then, when Droden is ready, I will approach Griffnock and say, how do you send us all back?
Well, where do you want to go?
Is it possible to come back exactly where we left from?
And where was that?
It was Blingdenstone, wasn't it, guys?
It was. I think it was. And that's where you want to be. Blingdenstone.
Yeah.
Victor.
Very well.
Do you know how long it will have been?
How long it will have been there? Do you know what date you left on?
Say we do.
You do. Yeah, you do. I do. I'm just looking for it. I'm stalling for time because I'm trying to find the calendar and I can never find it in this stupid thing. Well, I don't know when you arrived, but I believe, and he'll look across to this sort of big tree man covered in autumnal leaves. Is it Uktar? And the tree man will nod very slowly. I think you're in the first week of Uktar if you'll go to the material realms. So how long has that been? 2 weeks? Maybe 3? Not too long. Could be worse. It could have been years.
That is what we feared. Okay, good. How do you do it? Is there a teleportation circle or?
You know, if time's of the essence, they can send you anywhere you wish to go.
Here we want to Gravenhollow.
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 Gravenhollow. That's what it said. So I say Grim?
It's a completely different D&D setting, Tom.
Gravenhollow. I've been there.
Send us back to one place and Isabon
You even
and
have to
Berengil
ask.
back to another?
Of course.
Yes, that's a silly question.
I can send you to this Gravenhollow if you have something that binds to that place.
Get out the Stonekeeper crystal.
You have the Stonekeeper crystal. You also have the ring that you got in Mantle Dereth. Perfect. Yes.
Okay, one moment. Not that I'm avoiding a difficult conversation, but it might be best, knowing your father's temperament, if you went ahead and he had some time to cool down before meeting me.
Aye,
How would you feel about that?
that's fine. He might be a bit shocked at how old I am, but I got enough memories to convince him, I'm sure. You still have Miss Scarab, right?
Yes.
You can message me with that across any distance, any plane. I did learn some
And
things
if
from my dad.
there's any chance he can remotely deactivate whatever he's done here, that would be wonderful news. If not, I'll just have to arrange to meet up sooner rather than later, I suppose.
Oh, well, I could bring him to you.
Darren Dill, would you be okay going with Isabon?
Of course, it would be my delight to escort Isabon to wherever you
Isabon,
need.
if your father's temper is still irate, please don't let him harm Darren Dill. He's a dear, dear friend. He is family.
Well, if he's your family, he's mine as well. So, welcome to the family, Darrendale.
I guess, Darendil, you can report back to the boat that we've gone on ahead and they can go about whatever needs doing, and we'll cast sending when we need to reconvene.
Very good. Well, you tell us where we need to be and we'll be there.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure and an honour, and I'm sure we'll see each other again before the end. You'll all be safe, won't you?
Well, no, but we'll all do our best to keep each other safe.
I'm sure. You kept me safe for a very long time. We kept each other safe, and you saved many people along the way. Countless. Even if I don't see any of you again, I will tell your stories for as long as I live.
Don't speak like that. We'll see you in a few days.
Yes.
I know, but you've, if I should, if we should not see each other again, don't blame me if I make up a silly name for the party, because we still don't have one, you know.
I will glamour back into Orphane so that I can actually hug him at normal. Well, his level.
Yeah.
And I will say very quietly so only Darendil can hear. I mean it, you are family.
I mean it as well. I'm only here because all of you. We went through some horrible things together, but I think we've all came out stronger because we are family.
If you're ever unsure about who you are or what your place in this world is, just remember that is what you mean to me.
Thank you. I'll never forget who I am because you all showed me. I think I should probably go before you see a Quackoth cry. So, and he'll let go of the hug and kind of awkwardly shuffle to the side.
Without trying to be blunt or disrespectful, Lady Isabon, but would you want to take your mother with you?
Aye, if that's okay. I don't know how Dad's going to react, but she deserves to be at rest where she was born or grew up, or not in the Feywild. That's not right.
That's why I asked. I thought you and your father ought to be able to say goodbye to her.
I think Darendil would be able to help you if you need.
Of course. Of course. We'll take her home, Isabon.
Right. Thank you, Lord Grisnock, for doing this for us.
I'm not just doing it for you, little rock kobold elemental creature, Surdy. Doing it for my girl. I'm doing it for the Feywild. I'm doing it for the material world. We're doing it, aren't we, for everyone?
Exactly.
If you need me before the end, you can call my name 3 times and I will come. But I can only do this once. I will be watching. Make me proud.
I will actively go to hug him this time.
Okay. He's a little bit taken aback. Oh, we're doing hugs now, are we? And he will, awkward at first, but then there'll be a big strong embrace.
I've been here a couple of hours, but I have seen how truly terrible and cruel this place can be. But you have been kind. I would like to know you better, or remember you, or both.
If you send these things back to the abyss, we have all of time to get to know one another. But perhaps you need to get that iron out of you first. If you die,
I know how to do that now.
you do. If you die with that in your body, you will stay dead.
I won't die then.
Good. Glad to hear it.
We'll have to get it removed, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Right, that's enough dilly-dallying. Let's go save the world.
And as you say that, there is this swirl of autumnal leaves from the ground. You lose sight of one another. When
Not this again. I look for Droden.
Yeah. When
Not again.
when
Oh,
your
this
vision
again.
comes back, Darendil Isabon is gone. They are not with you. You are stood in in pitch blackness. Those of you with dark vision, it is a sprawling cave full of stalagmites, large stalagmites. It is eerily silent. You see no people about you. You see no buildings, no doors, nothing. You begin to wonder if you're in the wrong place. But you are all together.
So I've been thinking on it. And what do you all think of the Darendilites? No, that's too soft. The Darendilians. Darendilians. It's got a good sound to it. No? Okay, I'll keep thinking on it.
Sure.
Concern is that anyone that is familiar with the Prince Darendil might think we're some sort of cult following.
I mean,
It's not far wrong.
he wasn't. Yeah, it's kind of suitable if you're gonna go that way. And then they'll meet our Darendil, and it's a quag off and that. That'll really put the shits up them. I'll keep workshopping it.
And
The Quaggoth Quartet. No, too musical.
But I like that.
yeah, but we're not a band.
But that would be the surprise.
I just feel like for a crew, we should have a name that inspires fear, not.
But if you go in with something too hard, then like they expect what they get. You want to go in with something that's a bit more of the unexpected.
Also,
but maybe not the Darren Delights. That's
you've
doesn't
never
quite work.
music from the elemental plane. That would inspire fear.
No, why? But my mind went to the Black Dahlia.
I just wondered if that was rock music.
That's what I was gonna go. I was setting it up.
Oh, sorry. I just you communicated it so well.
But our group name can't be a sound.
Why?
Do we really need a group name?
Well, we will have to be written into the history at some point, and the list of names isn't the best way to share your story.
We'll figure it out. How did we get into this place anyway?
Where are we?
As you are
Pull out the
talking,
sword.
who's got?
As Grim says, it's a bit dark. I'll pull out the sword and.
You fucker!
Well, you asked.
It hurts so good.
I did not ask for that in particular.
Hang on a moment, though. Did you mention Tink? Did you say that what happened to Derendil might be some sort of curse, or is he actually aged?
Drodin?
Yes, Drodin. Yeah.
I have actually aged.
Sure.
I mean, Isabon said they did it to her, and she is. When I knew her, she was 11.
I'll just playfully tap the sword on flat side onto Derendil's bum while he's turned away, and use it to do was it the spell, the restoration spell?
Lesser restoration.
Lesser restoration, just on the off chance.
Okay. Yeah, you are free of all of your insanities for 1 hour, Jim.
Oh,
You are back to yourself for an hour.
do you remember them?
I've thought about this.
He's
I
got
remember
so
all
many.
of them. I have so many. I've thought about this. Drogen has been stuck in an area for an indeterminate amount of time. At this point, he's probably spent almost half his life with those insanities. I don't think he's going to quite understand how he's seen himself for the past 100 years is suddenly no longer applicable.
Sudden sanity is so terrifying, it drives me insane.
It would be quite a shock. Suddenly everything that seemed clear is unclear, and everything that was unclear seems clear. It's like a complete world change. It's like the world has changed around you.
Do I still feel compelled? Compelled happens later that night. Do I still feel compelled to hold on to the stone?
Right now, you could probably put it down.
Do you mind if I take a few moments of our time to do something very quickly, given that I have a brief respite of lucid insanity?
Absolutely.
I was rather hoping it would make you look like you used to, but it didn't work. So
I'm going to use a spell slot if I still have it, or if it's a ritual cast option, which it may be. I don't have the spell slots, and I don't think it's a ritual cast. Although it does say 10 minutes. I will look into that, but if it works, I am going to see if I can. I have to double fucking check.
Yeah, 10 minutes just means it takes 10 minutes to cast, I think.
Yeah, but if I can, I would like to cast Fabricate and effectively trap that little stone of Gratz into a little box.
Okay.
That cannot be opened. It is not a ritual spell.
So a box without a lid, effectively.
Yeah, but I can't cast it because I don't have the spell slots and it's not ritual.
Okay, well, you'll do it another time then.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if he's only sane for an hour, I don't know that he will.
I mean, you
How about...
you would all see a change in Drodin. Sorry, Hazel.
That's okay. I was going off track.
Feel free. You're still thinking
How
of
about
names.
the Quaggoth corpse?
Quaggoth corpse.
I quite like that.
Yeah, they're going.
I prefer it be corpse because it sounds grotesque.
It sounds pretty metal.
It honours Mallet.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Yes, let's go for that one.
Why are we naming ourselves after Darrentil?
It's many
I feel that he's earned it.
He's the best of us.
Is he?
He stands for... We seem to stand for a lot of what he is. He didn't intend to be here. He shouldn't have been here. But he was.
It doesn't indicate the leadership structure much, though, does it? Like, we could be called Captain Tink and the Quaggoth Corpse.
No, that singles me out, and that is not fair. It was always an honorific more than anything. An excuse for me to wear a big hat and say, stop bickering, this is what we're going to do.
Serdi and Drodin, as you're all talking, you can hear this strange singing in the distance, but it's no song that you recognize. They seem to be just singing this strange tune and then switching languages, Elven, and then Dwarvish, and then Common, and then Undercommon, and then Giant, just Goblin, Orc, Sylvan, Elemental, just this singing this strange tune. The words, even when you understand the words, they don't quite make sense. It's off in the distance. It's quite deep and throaty and kind of almost reminds you of throat singing almost, which I wish I could do, but I can't, so apologies. Drodin and Serdi would hear that.
Somebody here. Can anyone else hear that?
Okay.
And now they say that, the rest of you hear it as well. It is this strange, deep voice singing in many languages, some of which you would understand. Sounds quite cheerful.
Is it a tune that I recognise?
No, it's slightly discordant and slightly odd. It doesn't seem to have any structure. I think you're muted.
I'm a bit confused as to where we physically are and what we can see.
You are just
I think we all have dark vision.
You all have dark vision. You are in a large cavern with quite large stalagmites coming up from the floor. It is dark.
Shall we-
There are no mushrooms. There are no lichens. There's no light at all. It is just a bare, empty cavern, rather confusingly.
Shall we proceed in the direction of the song?
I'm already gone.
Bye. 100 years. 100 years you had to think about what you did.
You didn't think about that.
It only fueled my wanderlust further. Can you imagine seeing the same shitty cabin for 100 years?
Would have put money on the fact that wisdom doesn't come with age with that one.
Okay, how do you move towards the voice? Are you just walking?
Yes.
No caution.
Nope.
No. All of those many
I
times you
think
died.
everyone
I've been waiting 100 years to get to Gravenhollow. Fuck caution.
else, I think, might be.
He will be following behind cautiously, ready to
Okay.
put out the fire in his hair.
Anyone who is going cautiously can roll stealth. I assume Drodin is not.
Nope. Which party token are we? Because there's one just below Gauntlegrim, and then there's a big one further north.
Oh, okay. It's the big one.
Ah.
Okay. Okay, good stealth rolls, everyone. You sort of march towards. Wow.
Hot damn.
Grim's like specially on it today. By the way, I like the idea that before Grim joined the military, he was perhaps in marketing. Help.
Yeah, I think that could work. I think he got bored of the desk job.
Yeah, he didn't do very long. It was boring for him, but yeah, he was probably quite good at it.
Particularly, it's not, you know, especially in a place like Gracklestew where you couldn't really lie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be really weird
what is the
advertising.
Gracklestug version of a car salesman?
I don't know, because they'd be really honest. So I think all the
Yeah,
Lizard salesman?
which cars?
lizard
Yeah,
salesman.
like a lizard salesman or like a boat salesman. Which I think he does like the idea of being a boat salesman.
Look at this! Look at this moderate Chevy with the questionable history.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll work for the first 5 days, then it'll conk right out. So what you'd be better doing is going down the road, going to buy that one over there, not from us.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, as you walk towards singing voice, you see a large shape curled up on the floor. It does not look like a human. It looks like a huge lizard. It is humming to itself now, no longer singing the words. Huge lizard. It appears to have 6 legs. And is kind of just seems to be just looking down at the ground, curled up as if it's resting. And as Drodin approaches without stealth, everyone else is quite stealthy. You see it sort of stretch and stand. Yeah, big stretch. Ooh. And it kind of gets to its feet, but you notice that it is avoiding looking at any of you. It is diverting its gaze to the ground. Well, about time. Where have you been? I've been waiting for you. The library awaits. I've been asked to guide you there.
Let's go then.
Is it just you? Just
No,
you?
there are. He'll turn around and be like, there are others somewhere.
I guess we can step out of the shadows.
Okay. Again, it does not look at you. It averts its gaze. Very good. Follow.
Are you here from Stone Speaker Hagram or Gresset?
No, the library. And it will
Oh.
turn and start to walk off into the darkness.
And I'll fly off, trying to keep pace with him. And who might you be?
Veldiskar. You'll excuse me if I don't gaze upon you.
I do, but can I ask why?
You don't know what I am.
I haven't really had a moment to take you in.
Veldiskar, Basilisk, at your service. The library sent me to fetch you. If I gaze upon you, you'll be stone, and that makes it very hard to read.
Thank you for not gazing upon us.
You are most welcome.
Normal for basilisks to work at a library?
No.
Okay. So there are other... Go
Carry on. I was just going to say, it's not even normal for basilisks to talk, is it?
No. No, we don't normally talk. But I am in service of the library, and therefore I am awakened. I protect the library and its knowledge, and only guide those who are worthy.
Fair enough. Off we go.
And it will start plodding along, 6 legs. Quite large. Now you see it moving. It is quite large.
Of interest, does that mean that every single person here is worthy? And I look sort of at the corner of my eye at Drozen, who has been 100 years mad.
He's not shaking anymore, so I think he's just living up that. Yeah, Jordan's just going to be stomping away to Gravenhollow. He's not really going to stop for any chats. He's probably just flexing his hands as he goes, because he's not rattling anymore. Because that was one of his insanities, is that he would constantly shake or fidget.
Yeah. All of those are kind of faded away. And Veldiskar will say, please do not fear. If I should gaze upon you and you turn to stone, I can restore you to your flesh and bone form. But I shall avert my gaze nonetheless, for I can only do this once per day.
That is comforting. Thank you.
Out of interest, what would happen if you looked in a mirror?
Probably turn myself to stone. Not recommended. Not recommended.
Curious.
There's
Wonderful.
maybe the reason the
Perfect.
basilisks don't have mirrors. I mean, even
Great
finding a lady basilisk is very hard because of the whole stone turning to stone thing. It can cut short relationships very quickly.
There's nothing wrong with being turned to stone. Didn't.
No offense. As you turn the corner, you see a huge pair of stone doors carved from the basalt, a cliff face. It is huge. The gates, although they are shut, they're probably 40, 50 foot tall, 20, 30 foot wide. You could probably march 10 people shoulder to shoulder through the doors. Likewise, even the tallest creatures you've met, the stone giants, probably are some of the tallest, could walk through with a huge amount of headroom above them. There are 2 statues of stone giants either side, each of them holding what looks like a scroll. If you are ready, you may enter. You are worthy, or you would not see it. And the gates begin to swing open silently.
Thank you again, Veldeskar. Shall we, Druid? Everyone? Shall we? I'll start.
Great.
Okay, you step through. I mean, walking across the threshold of Gravenhollow reminds you of teleportation. It feels like stepping into another realm, the same as when you shifted to the Feywild. The sort of oppressive gloom of the Underdark is very suddenly replaced by this sense of light and openness. And those of you from the surface and those of you that have visited you, it reminds you of the surface world. The corridor beyond the gates is just like the gate itself, wide enough for 10 people to walk side by side. The ceiling reminds you somewhat of Gauntlgrim in the workmanship, but unlike Gracklstugh, where there's no decoration, this is beautifully decorated with all sorts of runes and writing and artwork. And even when you look across, you walk across crossroads in the path. Veldeskar is still leading you. As you look down these side corridors, you can't see the ends of them. They just seem to go on off into the distance. The ceiling above you is bright. It seems almost like the ceiling is covered in crystals, which seem to trap this rainbow of light. And it just feels warm and inviting. And even those of you with dark vision don't find it uncomfortable. But it is rather awe-inspiring how high and vast this place is. And then you see from the wall, this rocky creature seems to detach itself from the wall, leaving a perfect imprint of its body. And I think you've recognised it because you've seen them before. I can't remember how to spell them. It is a... Do you remember the little rocky things? Galabdur that you saw in Blingden Stone. They're these kind of almost like earth elementals, but quite short and squat. And it will detach from the wall. Greetings, travelers. The masters are busy. We have rooms for all of you. Choose your own. The resources of the library are at your disposal. You need only ask, and you will be shown what you need. And he will gesture down a corridor, and you'll see all these doors in the wall. You may have a room, you may stay as long as you wish. Any questions you may ask.
I'm just going to go and pick a room. Questions will come later.
Okay, you open the door to a room. You just pick a door, and it seems to take on a form that Drodin would find pleasing. What would you see in that room?
Ooh, I don't know. At this point, it's probably just somewhere kind of like a little bit dark with an actual large, nice little fire. It doesn't need a bed, so it would probably just have like a bunch of like plush little pillows tucked in one corner that he can just sit on for his 4-hour trance. And a lot of shelf space for books. And given that he's read a lot of other strange books recently, there'd probably be a little area for tinkering on some stuff.
It indeed meets your expectations in every way. You instantly feel at home.
I'm concerned that Droden looks like he's settling in for good.
I mean, he does look very comfortable straight away.
Droden, we are on a schedule.
I'm aware.
Okay then. I'll turn to the stone giant and say, can you tell us where to find information on sending demon princes back to the abyss?
There are sections on demon lords, the abyss, and all involved creatures. If you seek them, you will find them. I can show you if you wish.
Yes, please.
This way. And he will begin. Say he is like an elemental. He's quite squat and short, very broad. And he will just begin to lead you through these corridors. It's weird because you feel like you're walking for miles, but at the same time it feels like you're going nowhere. And as you pass through rooms, you just see floor to very, very high ceiling of books and scrolls, and it's even stone tablets. Absolutely mind-boggling amount of text, everything. And as you glance at the spines on some of the books, you'll see that some of them are history, some of them are recipes for baking, some of them are magical tomes, some of them are history books of worlds you've never even heard of. This place is bizarre and huge, and as you walk through as well, you see strange shimmering, almost like apparitions of people walking around, seemingly looking at the shelves, and you can see them taking books off the shelf, or rather a spectral version of the book. The book seems to stay in place. There are drow and giants and humans and elves in this weird spectral form. But the Galabdur will eventually lead you to a huge wall of books in a cave, and the room feels like a geode. It's like you're inside a geode. This is where you will find any information on the demon lords that you wish.
Thank you very much. How would I find my way back to our room?
I will wait. Goes and stands by the entrance.
Okay. Did anyone come with me?
Oh, yes. Sadie was following.
I think Droid probably would have just dumped his shit in that room and then followed.
Okay.
Right.
If they're all going, I was ready to watch Droden if he wandered off, so I will follow, and I will follow Droden in case he does.
I mean,
the names of the lords that we've seen and met so far. Zuktmoy. Always remember that one. That was a day.
Zuktmoy, Demogorgon. We have suspicions of Dubalux, and Who's the other one? Oh, we've also seen Lolth, and of course, I'm carrying Grazit.
Well remembered, Jim.
I've been noting them on the map as we encounter them.
What happens once you're mad again and Grazit is in control? Or has some control?
Potentially, I will go either looking for him immediately, or depending on how much he wants to push, I may start killing indiscriminately.
Couldn't we put him in the bag of holding or something?
I will die if I'm put in the bag of holding after 10 minutes.
Not you, the
You.
stone.
I thought you meant him as well.
I mean, it would be difficult to stop you trying to take the bag of holding from us, but it's at least one extra step.
Would you do that?
I just-
If it was in the bag. If you weren't holding the stone, would you go looking for the stone?
Well, I know he's here.
He's here.
He's in Gravenhollow. His whole reason for me wanting me to bring the stone here was because he wanted the stone brought
He's
to him.
not in the stone. I thought he was in the stone. Dear Lord.
He's been
Reunite body with
communicating.
soul?
He's been communicating with me through the stone, but he has made it very clear that he is within the walls of Gravenhollow.
Why did I... This could have been made aware of this before we came here.
I'm gonna turn back to what was its name? Our guide.
Which one, Valdiscare or the little stone fella?
Rock boy.
Rock boy. I've got to check. I've forgotten already.
Anyway, I'll turn to them and say, Grazit is worthy.
I do not decide who is worthy. The library
Who decides?
decides. The masters.
It's a dangerous person to give access to all this knowledge.
We need
It's a flawed decision.
If they're here, though, we need to find what we need to know before and get out fast.
If they are here, they are either worthy or someone who is worthy has brought them here.
Let's find out what we need to know and leave.
I'm going
A
to
terrifying thought.
I'm briefly going to look at that stone and just go, oh shit, I hope I haven't just brought him here.
You have. It's all good. If you wish to speak to the masters, then you would seek the master of past, present, and future.
What do the
Ulthar, keeper of the past, Urmas, keeper of the present, and Ustova, keeper of the future.
Any chance we can talk to all three? Three librarians better than one,
Of
especially in a library of
course.
this size.
The nerds.
They are working. If you seek them, then wander the library and you may find them.
Is Stone Speaker Hagram here?
The stone speaker has not been here for many years. Decades. But his echo may well be here.
His echo.
All who enter Gravenhollow are forever within Gravenhollow as a memory. You too shall be here
Does
forever.
that mean we've also been here forever?
Until now, no, but from now, yes.
Congratulations, friends. We have unintentionally achieved immortality.
This is making my brain hurt. I'm just gonna look at the books.
Can Grim wander off in search of the librarian for the future?
Sure. Yeah, are you just wandering around and just looking? You know, there are signs and things, so you might be able to follow some signs.
Yeah, I know common, giant, dwarvish, and undercommon. So as long as they're using one of them.
Giant is good. The writing generally is giant here. It is written in giant. And as you are wandering around searching the library, you do see, weirdly, you see a familiar face. It is a strange kind of spectral, half phased out version, but you recognize the dwarf Bruno Battlehammer. He is transparent, and he's stood with a taller drow elf who is also spectral and kind of half phased out, and they are having a conversation whilst looking at a book. But Bruno looks very much younger than when you saw him. You don't recognise the drow elf. You do see that he has 2 scimitars at his side, and he's wearing a cloak and a hood. And you can hear them talking.
Does it look like?
Sorry.
Does it look like standard drow attire?
Yeah.
I'm not the nosy one in the party. I am not gonna. No, I've got a job. I've got a question that needs an answer. I'm finding that librarian.
Okay. As you wander past, they seem to see you, and they
Politely nod.
They politely nod back, and continue to read the scroll that they're looking at, and continue to talk. And yeah, after a few moments, you do come across another huge cavern that is just lined with thousands and thousands of books. Sorry, which one were you looking for?
The one for the future. Can't remember the name. The names are too similar.
Yeah, they are.
There's past, present, and future. So I'll go for future.
Okay.
Was that Ostova the future?
Yeah.
Ulthas. Or
There
Ulthas or something.
Yeah. There is. Oh God. What's going on with my notes? It's just disappeared. Yeah, the future is Ostova. You see this. You see this quite large, even for a stone giant. It is a. It's all right. The stupid foundry's playing up. She kind of looks like you would imagine a stone giant grandma to look like. She is a good 20 foot tall. She has a massive necklace that just seems to be made of rocks hanging around her neck. Long white hair that is braided very, very tightly. And she is tending to this huge shelf full of books. And she will see you approach. She is not an echo. She is physical and standing there. And she will do her work and just a nod to you.
Excuse me. Am I right in thinking that you might be the librarian who specialises in the future?
Ostova, yes. How can I help you, child?
Just over. That's good to know. I've just got a quick question for you. If I'm bothering you, if you're busy, just let me know and I'll stop pestering you. But if I can have a moment of your time, I was just wondering if you had any texts here that mention a group who may get into battle with some demon lords. So it's made up of myself. So I'm Hjalgrim Wargrace, and then we've got Rodin Zoloran, a Perla, but also goes by Serdi, like a elemental kind of kobold thing, and a captain that is a Tink, but also other people, and a Quaggoth named Derendil, but not to be confused with the Prince Derendil. I was just wondering if you knew of any historical text or future text that might mention them, and if there is in fact a group name to which they're referred by.
That's cruel. That's so evil.
That's okay, man.
Throwing it back on me.
Hey, you bring it to the table.
I brought
Sorry,
it to the table.
This was genius.
Yeah, well done. Well
Oh,
done.
did they manage to do it? Did they have a name?
She will sort of gesture to a huge shelf that just seems to be full of stone tablets, lined up, hundreds of them. And she will begin to walk over and gesture for you to follow.
I will follow.
I mainly deal with the fate of the stone giant clans. That is my primary purpose. But the future, the portents are very unclear now. I cannot see clearly. I see death and blood. I see the twin spirals of the Demogorgon. I see Zugtamoy surging across the Underdark. I cannot see my visions clearly for the slime. The future is uncertain. The portents are changing constantly.
So the blood that you mentioned, so the slime, but the blood, does it look like particularly dwarven? Drow? Are there little mechanical parts in it? Chunks of rock?
It is the blood of all.
Okay, that's not so much of a good sign. Is it okay if I have a look at these? I've got clean hands, I promise. I won't mess them up.
You may. They are shifting. They are changing. The future is not set. It is more unclear now than it has ever been.
Well, maybe we can clear it up a bit.
Please, what is it you wish to know?
Well, we'll start with a name, and then we'll work back from there.
Very good. And she will begin sort of, tilting the stone tablets so she can read a bit of the text. Keeps going. And she will take one out. Malice Morteum? Tink? Serdi, Hjalgrim, Isabon, Derendil, Bradley. There are many names here.
Sounds about right.
It seems you never chose a name, or you're yet to choose.
Fast. Okay, well, at least we made it onto the pages. That means something.
Some of you have already fallen. That I can see for their futures are empty. And some of you, your futures continue beyond today.
That's normally how things work. I can tell you this, I'm going to fall asleep in a rocking chair and die there. Decided it.
With a good book, I'm sure. We have many chairs here. You could read for eternity.
Maybe I could be a ghost instead of one of these echoes.
Well, you cannot die whilst you reside here. Time has no meaning here.
I will see about that. That's not about time, it's about life. Anyway, I should stop taking up your time. I'll have a look through these. Like I said, promise not to mess them up. If you see some others wandering around, maybe we could start telling them that a Quaggoth corpse sounds good.
Quartz or corpse?
Corpse. It's spelled core, but we're going to call it the corpse because I just feel that works quite well for the imagery we want to put forward, but also one of the ones whose life was cut short. Seems that she had a bit of a thing for corpses. There's a couple of corpses in the bottom of the boat, so kind of makes sense.
I may have misunderstood this tablet. I thought perhaps the Quaggoth had died. Perhaps you did name your group after all.
Oh.
Or perhaps the Quaggoth
Well, maybe
died.
I did just now, and it.
Well, you've changed. You see how the future is. It changes constantly, but it has never changed as rapidly as it does now.
Can I take the tablet and can I think of a load of different names and see if I can get one of them to appear on the tablet, including one that is just Grimm's Gang?
Grimm's Gang. I mean, as you think of them, they do. Some of them appear on the tablet you're holding, some of them don't. But these stone tablets seem to constantly shift and change. And as you think about certain things, you see certain names disappear off the list and then reappear. It's very strange. It is very confusing.
I think after I've had my bit of fun with it and maybe help shortlist a few group names, I will take it and find a seat. And I will start thinking of the names of the demon lords that have been mentioned and see how the names and what changes based on who I'm thinking of.
Sure. Okay, we'll come back to that if that's okay, and I'll switch back to the others. It'll give me time to think about it. Others. You are stood in a section that seems to be a host of texts on the demon lords. Nothing specific.
How do you beat them? What are they weak to?
Well, as you have this thought, you see a figure with a stick walking down the corridor towards the section. He is...
Echo or real?
He is real. He is real. He is wearing dark green robes. He has long white hair, purple grey skin. He looks quite old and gnarly for a drow. And next to him is this huge 7-foot tall slard, which to those who have not seen one before is a kind of strange toad with a mouth full of razor sharp teeth, which seems to just silently follow him as a bodyguard. And he has a stick. He's walking. The stick is clacking on the stone.
That's that the one fellow we were directed to look for.
Vizeran Devere.
Yes, that's his name. Thank you. I couldn't be asked to go and look it up.
It is indeed him. Yeah, with this huge spiky toad next to him. His face is quite pinched. He has red eyes. And he looks at you each in turn and looks you up and down. And nods.
The Devere?
Have we met?
No, but we were looking for you.
I am Vizeran Devere, yes. And you are?
Well, we're not sure about Quagoff Corpse. Or Corpse.
Friend.
Quagoff Corpse?
For now, Tink, Drodin, Zerdy, Perla, and where's Grim gone?
He'll
Oh, not again.
Droden, Nilaran, Zolaran, but go by Droden typically.
Zolaran.
Yes.
So you've been fighting the tyrannies of Loth, same as me, for how long now?
Well, I've just been stuck in a time loop for everyone as soon as 100 years. So that was a bit of a vacation, I suppose. But I'd say at least about 50 years.
And what brings you to Gravenhollow?
We are looking to banish demon lords that are getting into the material world because of Grump Benray.
And I believe the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes, we'd like you to help us kill him and get rid of all the other demon lords.
Kill Grumpf Benray. Well.
Yes, why not?
I admire your optimism. I would perhaps research him here before you try something of that ilk. He is a powerful mage.
I mean, we've killed Archfey recently.
You don't need to boast about that.
But, we'll take your advice, surely. But the captain's point still stands. How would you stand with us against him? If we were to find a way to defeat, well, more importantly, to banish the demons.
Well, the demons. Banish the demons may be something I have an idea of.
I have one hand if you want to demonstrate.
Well, I'm just here to confirm my suspicions for now. It seems we have many demon lords running amok on the material plane. Yes, Grumpf, I believe, is a good line of inquiry. The Archmage is behind this incursion, and I believe, I don't know if you would agree with me, that Loth now has sole run of the abyss.
Yes, that was your theory, wasn't it?
Yes, I came to that conclusion probably last week.
And you're here to do what?
Figure out how to send them back. And figure out how to kill Grumpf. And for the, 30 minutes I have left before I become a murderous wreck again, figure out how I can help Menzo Branson become less of a shithole.
Well,
that note, could we maybe, if we've only got half an hour, maybe you should be looking at how to stop that coming back.
Well, I think at the very least I'll have to get rid of the stone before that happens.
Well, Yeah, we haven't actually said we've done it. Open bag of holding. Step 1. Lovely.
He watches it with curiosity.
If you touch that stone, Grazit speaks into your mind and encourages you to do stuff. And it is not pleasant to be away from it for long. So it may start throwing fireballs in half an hour.
Well, I think we are aligned in our goals here. And I think we are of like mind, Drodin, Zorlarin. You have confirmed what I suspected, and that's the reason I'm here. What I would suggest is if, when you conclude your research here, I have a place only a few hours from here.
Your tower.
My tower, you know it.
We found a strange scrying pool that gave us answers to what we know. That's how we kind of concluded this situation. And
We were
given you as a method of inquiry.
We were going to search for your tower after we'd done some research here, but meeting you here was gratuitous.
Indeed. Indeed. I mean, do you have any inkling on how you would take down a demon lord, let alone all of them?
No.
I know the spell banishment. That's about the extent of my ideas so far.
They were to have arrived through a single portal. Close it, but only once.
The chances of banishing the Demogorgon, or Zuktmoy, or Orcus are so slim as to be almost zero.
People have said that about my chances in a lot of things, including survival recently. I think I might be able to pull it off.
But
better to have more concrete plans then.
Could we somehow tempt them back into the abyss?
Well,
I did try to warn Zuktmoy and that did not go well.
I think one thing that is clear is we don't know where they are right now, but I have in my tower, I have a ritual that I can perform, create an item. But it may not have the effect you're looking for. It would not send the demon lords back to the abyss, but it would draw them to it.
Sorry, to the item or to the abyss?
To the item.
Mm-hmm.
That would certainly have. That would be something useful to have.
Would that be indiscriminately, as in it draws all of them to it at once?
Indeed.
Or could... Okay.
Would it work in and across planes if we were to create it?
Sadly not, no.
But we could draw them to one place and then presumably do something very heroic and cataclysmic to send them back.
Indeed. I mean, the one thing they hate more than mortals is each other.
That is true. So
we could provoke a battle royale.
Where else would be better but Menzoberranzan?
I mean, surely they don't all want to be puppets of Lolth.
I have things to say about the idea of doing it in Menzoberranzan, but I have no other better suggestions at present.
Well, that would be the other decision to make. Where would we use such an item? How would we use such an item? And I appreciate what you say about Menzoberranzan. I've been fighting against its, well, Lolth and her machinations for so long. Not all people in Menzoberranzan deserve death. but all people in Menzoberranzan find death. We will switch back to Hazel for a minute, if that's all right. I'll give you a minute to think about that. Grim, you are looking through.
Yes.
You are looking through the tablets to what? Sorry, to just sort of.
I just kind of figuring out, like, running through game plans. So, kind of thinking about Zuktmoy and, like, say, if I do my best to believe that the plan is going to be and what we are going to do, and plan out in my head, like, we set them on fire, we drown them, and just trying to see if anything particular in mind has a better outcome.
Yeah. Okay.
The issue is for Grim, he hasn't met them, so he can only go off what the others have said. So I don't know how he can
Of
make
course.
something what is the current plan.
Okay. So give me a demon lord, for example, that you're thinking about.
So I think Zuktmoy would be the first one because that's the one he's heard the most of from the group.
Okay.
But Lolth is the one that he knows the most about. So I think that's going to be like the second one if Zuktmoy doesn't give anything.
Okay. So you think about Zuktmoy, who you've only heard described, but as you look at these stone tablets, you feel yourself drawn to other tablets as you're having the thoughts. So you will put one back out of instinct and take another. You see, and this is in the near future, the very near future, you see, well, you don't see, but you read about it effectively. It's quite strange. There are some drawings and artwork, but you don't physically see. But Zuktmoy talks about her leaving Neverlight Grove, breaking free. The Myconids that still live there are following her mindlessly, and as she travels through the Underdark, you see her gathering more and more Myconids about her. They get twisted and changed, and they lose their sense of self. And she will march through the Underdark until she comes to this huge area called Oromikos, which is a huge sentient, it's effectively a ginormous fungal brain. And as soon as she reaches that, it describes how that the rot spreads, and many of the cities like Gracklstugh, Blingdenstone, they begin to fall, crops begin to fail and turn rotten. They cannot grow mushrooms without them being poisonous. You just see that if she were to reach Oromikos, all of those Underdark cities are lost, and those that are not lost are weakened and then vulnerable to other demon lords. You do think about instances of intervening, and there are fleeting stories about you all fighting her. In some you win, in some you lose. The ones where you win, those cities are safe, your allies are safe, and the rot does not spread through the entire Underdark. Obviously the ones where you lose, the cities fall, and the rot slowly spreads to the surface, and the surface begins to fall also. What was the other one?
Love, but I think that's enough from Zuktmoy that I think that's going to take enough time. I'm imagining this, like the tablets are turning into like matrix code, and he's just like trying to pick out words.
It's like reading a story.
He's not the smartest.
Yeah, it's like reading a story that shifts to your thoughts. So as you think about a different scenario, it shifts and twists and starts to change, so you can almost explore them. You do read something about Lolth, and it is in effect that she has banished the demon lord. She tricked Gromf into effectively casting this spell which has released the demon lords, and you that's almost like a what's the word? It's just like a my brain's not working tonight, but it's like a little passage, and then it goes into detail about Lolth. Effectively, the longer the demon lords are out of the abyss, the more she secures she basically securing the abyss such that when they come back, she will have the power effectively. And if Lolth grows in power, then that too has repercussions for the real world. Menzoberranzan will expand, the Drow society will become more chaotic and more brutal, and will begin to push out into the Underdark and also up onto the surface.
And with that, I will run off to find Captain.
Okay.
I'm not responsible enough for this information, but I've got ideas.
Well, you would reach them about the same time as we just left them. So, yeah. You will see them all talking to a drow elf stood with this 7-foot spiky toad with razor-sharp teeth. They don't seem aggressive or unfriendly. It seems to be a amicable conversation. And he'll be, more of you. Visser and Devere, pleasure to meet you. This is Cleve.
Nice to meet you both.
You are?
Captain, I don't mean to intrude, but sorry, I'm Halgrim Wargrace. Maybe at your service, maybe not. I'm not quite sure on where we stand with things here. Sorry for the rudeness.
No offence taken. I think we're a bit early for pledging service.
We
Just
discussing tactics, Grim. I think that we've reached some sort of accord, at least, that we seem to want the same thing.
Well, that's good. But starting to think the sooner we act, the better. And we need to track those myconids. They're moving. And they can't get where they're going, because if they do that, we're too late.
Oh. Are they still trying to wed Demon Lord to the
Aramicus. It would seem so. And once that happens, the rot sets in.
We only delayed them then. We didn't stop them.
So,
Master Devere here says he can create an item that will summon all. Is summon the right word? Will they appear with it, or will they just want to reach it?
It will infuriate them to such a degree that they'll be drawn to it.
So we can bring them all to the same place through this. We're just discussing what good that would do.
I have a sketch if you wish to see.
sorry, when you say all
within this
how
plane.
many are we talking?
Well, however many there are, it will draw them all.
Wouldn't I asked the same question? It won't take them from the other plane here or from here to another plane, but it would just bring them all to the same place. I feel ashamed at looking at Drodin. I'm sorry I suggested Menzoberranzan. I'm so used to thinking of Drow as enemies, I forgot it was a city full of all sorts of people.
I think I'm just going to walk off. Going to go and look for the Stone Speaker's echo.
Okay, Drodin seems to leave. Maybe he's offended.
Maybe it's a prank. Who knows?
The item I have researched here is called the Heart of Darkness.
I've heard of that.
You have. It requires many specialized ingredients and is, to be frank, very difficult to procure. I am an accomplished mage, but I am but one. I fear I could not collect all of the required items to make such a thing, even though I could make it. And he will
I
take...
have a feeling I know where this is going.
He will take out a scroll and unfurl it, sort of rest it on the floor, and you see this weird concoction. It looks like a huge eye. Reminds you of a beholder eye with a number of feathers sticking out of it and all sorts of strange other biological items grafted to it. Even the drawing is quite disturbing looking.
I worry before we get to where to retrieve all these required ingredients, we still don't know what we're to do once they've been drawn to it.
No, well, that's the part where I am stuck as well. They hate one another. I know this much.
If love had banished them, it must be possible to do it.
Don't like the idea that we do all this on the assumption they just decide to kill each other or banish each other, whatever it is.
How do we persuade them to banish each other? If it's the demon lord that can do it, we have to get one of them to banish the rest and, well, somehow banish one. I hope the combined forces we've amassed can take one down.
I mean, forceful banishment is the usual method of banishing a demon if you can't use magic. But I fear we would need an army the size of which has never been seen to banish all of them.
But if we could get one of them to banish the others, somehow.
Well, don't they all have a mutual enemy in Log?
Potentially. Each of them has a realm within the Abyss. I've read about it here. Each of them has their own layer, if you will, of the Abyss. And whilst they are gone, I'm sure that Loth is bolstering her security and taking each one by one. The longer
Can they return to the Abyss whenever they want, do we know?
I do not believe so, no.
Drodin?
I'll come back. Probably wouldn't have got very far.
Sound will carry pretty well in this big, echoey...
It does.
Now, in that case, I will also shout back. It will probably be Orcus that banishes all of them. I don't know if anybody remembers, but we've had dreams previously when we've been fighting Papido about going to war with Orcus.
You're saying that when
They are
all is
well
said and done, we're going to
documented in
fight
map.
Sorry.
They're also well documented in Malta's notes. There are various visions of Orcus. Big Orcus warning there. Bad Orcus.
Orcus will banish all of the others, and then we will just have to face down Orcus and Papido again.
Pedo.
I was just going to ask about the rock. The one in the rock.
Oh, Gresset.
Would they? I mean, if we could somehow use them to banish the rest, then somehow trap them in the box you were talking about before.
Well, I can't ask him. He'll know what I'm up to.
Oh, Good point.
He reads my mind when I talk, so I can't deceive him.
So we can't tell you our plans.
You don't always have to deceive a demon lord. Sometimes they will, well, deal willingly.
That's what I mean. It would be easier to have them as a willing participant than as a...
Was that Viserion? Matt
Yes.
talking above table or
No,
Grizzet?
it was Viserion.
Well,
I mean, if we try and banish the
Or
one
Viseran.
along with the others, and they can read your mind, then that's harder to swallow than asking them to banish the others. At least then we can try it for a while.
open the bag.
Okay.
I'll put my hand in. I'll take the stone out. I'll go to Grassett. Will you help us banish all of the other demon lords? Knowing that we will try and banish you after the pact as well.
Well, if you let me run free, I'll help you.
Back in the bag. It's very nice to not.
Dungeon.
It's very nice to not be beholden to having to be compelled to hold that stone at all times. He's an insufferable slag. Now, I'm going to go and look. He won't help us, not without letting him just leave and do his own thing, which would probably be one of the worst decisions we could make. Anyway, I'm going to go and look for the stone speaker.
Is there a single reasonable demon lord that we could speak
No.
to? Okay.
Kind of against their nature to be, reasonable.
Grassett is probably the most reasonable from the ones that I know. And no.
So if a demon lord could banish them, though, what else could banish them if we can't convince one of them to banish the others? Do we know anything else of a power level similar that could maybe do it? I mean,
A god or an archdevil.
I mean, do they have to banish each other, or could they fight each other if they hate each other so much? It's all a power play, isn't it?
If
And the
you...
last
The
one
issue
that's
is if-
standing is
But then we only have to fight one. So he said he could get them all angry enough that they all try and get to the same place. Now, some of them we might know where they are. If we can track the Myconid movements, we know Zuxmoy's got to have something to do with them. The only issue is there's more demon lords than you lot have mentioned. So which ones are on this plane and which ones aren't?
Could we use if we could find out all of them? I mean, we know some of them, but could we get the scouts that are in our service at the moment to find the locations?
The scouts would probably go mad. We know about Demogorgon, Orcus, Grassett. We have, and Zuktmoy. We have suspicions of Jubilex. And I suspect Yinogu, because when we escaped from Velkenvelv, we were immediately beset by a large quantity of gnolls.
Inspiration.
The gnolls that were also doing a lot of chanting and weirdness that we could
I
hear through
already
the
have
ground.
inspiration, so can I give it to someone else?
Yes.
You have it.
Let's give it to Grim.
Okay. Inspiration for Grim.
I think he's already had inspiration in the names of which he has come up with for this group that is severely lacking a group identity.
I was going to give that to you, and then you set me up, and I was like, whoa.
You set yourself up.
No, you were too clever for me.
But so we've got, you put me in a library. So we've got 6. Some suspected, some known. And then that's not even counting Lolf who set this all up. That's 7. Now we're good, but we're not that good.
That's also
These are
not
demon
counting.
lords.
That's also not counting the various other demon lords that exist.
I still
Like,
think we could.
And anything they bring with them.
To be honest, Jordan, it was you only went mad because you spoke to them.
I made contact with Lolth. I talked to...
The rest of us found out where they were. The rest of us were there with Zugtmoy. None of the rest of us went mad. Not
I need is
Not permanently.
intel or even hearsay from other...
You weren't there, Serdi, when loads of us saw the Demogorgon destroying Sloobladoob and Malice started eating dirt.
Yeah, but
I've forgotten about
Malice just started eating dirt. They didn't start murdering everything that moved.
Did Tink go mad? Did you go mad when you saw the Demogorgon?
She got more full of herself.
Well,
Did
the
I?
point is-
Grim wasn't there.
Did I?
Tink,
No, I think that's just when I became brilliant.
But that's not mad. That's perfectly rational.
Tink also did
Well, that's when I
develop...
started to believe in myself.
Yeah.
No,
Tink also really did develop almost uncomfortable attachment issues with Malice at one point.
Yeah.
But-
And Malice started seeing things, but no one's read her diary, so no one knows that.
then how the hell are we going to know where they are if no one can even know where they are without going mad? I mean, all the people we've told they're in the Underdark, are they mad? I think
To
you're...
know is for
I
ourselves to find out is where there have been large pockets of people acting funny.
I have
And
a solution.
Yes.
Find me Stone Speaker Head Graham, and find me a list of all of the demon lords that are prominent enough that they may have also been lured out.
I'm sure after a little searching we can find a list of the demon lords. Are there hundreds? Are there thousands?
There are technically thousands. But surely if we look at a book in the past, it will say these specific demon lords have gotten out of the abyss.
In the future, you mean?
Well, no, because they're out already.
Yes. So we don't want one in the past when they haven't got out.
No, we want to look at the book.
We want one from the present.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
That will show where. Yeah.
I was
Where are
saying
they now?
Oh, very confusing.
the
All
book
this-
of the past will say
Oh.
on this date and at this time these demon lords lived.
all this
Okay.
hell-based nonsense.
Spot on. Spot on. Okay. Should we wrap it up there, or is there anything else you want to discuss while it's fresh in your minds?
I want to find 2 of those demon lords really quickly that we do not know for certain are in the abyss, and I want to try something with 2 of those names.
Okay, give me a... No, do you know what? I don't need a roll.
Thank Christ, because I'll probably fuck it up.
Jordan's going to summon 2 more demon lords to the service because he's
You
mad.
want to know which demon lords are in the abyss that you're not aware of. Okay.
That are in the material world that we're not aware of.
Okay. I'll give you 2.
Okay.
Or I'll give you 3. Dreblex
Ooh.
is in the material plane.
Okay, confirmed. We suspected that.
Fraz Blue.
Greta Bloob. That's a new one.
Fraz Blue is also...
Oh, Frazo Blue. Okay.
Yeah, Fraz Blue, who is kind of like a Cthulhu type demon lord.
Ooh.
And also Baphomet is also free in the material plane. And Yenogu, you were right about Yenogu. You knew that one already. So I'll happily give you the full list. It is Zubtmoy, Baphomet, Demogorgon, Frazer Blue, Grazet, Dreblex, Yenogu, and Zugtmoy.
You said Zuckmoy twice.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
She kind of...
Is that bad?
She spreads.
Seeing as I'm already mad, and I'm actively looking for a cure now,
Don't talk to them.
I'm going to cast Sending twice. To be like, are you in the abyss or in the material? Because I know Zuggtmoy gave me a lot of glimpses of the material being whiffy.
Okay, do you know what? We can do that next week because I need to have a think about how insane you're going to go from doing
I
that.
assume you've not told us your plan. You're just.
No, I've just immediately went. Someone go and find Stone Speaker Graham.
Yeah, I mean, you would see him
Bad.
obviously reading. You'd have to read to find this information. You are in the section about demon lords. But yeah, just thinking. Yeah, we'll probably pick that up next week rather than try and squeeze it in now. It'll give me a little bit of time to think about it. But Baphomet is, because you've not come across him before, he is basically the embodiment of uninhibited carnage and violence for no real reason.
I mean, considering some of the madnesses Drodin's already had, trying
Yep.
to see which one that gives him.
Yeah, that'll be bad.
The blood god.
Yeah, and Fraser Blue, because you would all have access to this in the books when you're discussing which ones there are. Fraser Blue is, how do you even describe him?
Oh, he does look like Cthulhu a bit.
He's kind of Cthulhu-y, but he is.
No squid face, but beard.
It's not a squid face, no, but it is weird. He's the Prince of Deception and Lord of Illusions.
That's just what he wants you to think.
So Fraser Blue is all about
Durandal all
deception.
along.
Yeah, it's been Tink all along. That's
No,
a
I can't be
true
a third
form.
person.
So yeah, we will pick it up next time with Drodin collecting more insanities. Don't forget the other ones are coming back in about half an hour as well.
The best twist would be if it had been Stool all along.
And that's so not going to happen. Leave him alone. He's an innocent baby. How about Fraser Blue's Flayers? Yeah. I think Grim might kind of elbow Perla at some point, look at his sword and be like, how about the Light Bringers?
I like that.
Ooh,
That is the
I
good.
like that.
it took some workshopping, but we got there.
It took a few
Hey,
comedy
I'm still
ones.
workshopping.
Right.
Grim's not set on it, but
Lightbringer
Lightbringer
core.
But by the same logic, you could suggest the Darkwalkers, or the Nightbringers, or the Mushroom Men.
The Lightbringer sounds much more heroic.
Like the Lightbringers.
That's nice.
And Drodin.
It also works with the lyrics of our intro.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Nice.
I had another one and I forgot it. Sorry.
Oh, definitely forgot it, or just.
Oh, it's one of those things I'll remember at like 3 a.m.
That was here in the chat.
Yeah, just write it down
No
or send it in
context.
chat, and we'll say it next week. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for playing.